So we're going to go now to the Senate. So Bloomberg reports on a Senate bill that could cut Huawei's technology company and other foreign firms from the world's largest financial system in the latest attempt to curb China's technological ambitions. The Senate bill would ban U.S. companies from participating in significant transactions with foreign firms that produce 5G technology and engage in industrial espionage. Now, this 5G technology thing about it, while I understand the concern with Huawei, because you can suck up a lot of information from 5G signals and telecommunications in general, I think that should be a little less of a focus than the one that is actually about espionage. We don't want to necessarily, outright destroy China's market in this or try to, but we do want to be able to say, hey, there are these things that are a little sussy over here and get people to not necessarily buy them, especially in light of the SolarWind hacks and the zero-day exploits that China has done with its corporate espionage, as well as its microchip integrated, hardware integrated hacking, which is, you put little transmitters. I think, it was literally the transmitter they put on these chips was like literally about the size of this pin, this lead. Little transmitters that sucked up data and sent it to China. So those things are actually important, but I'm not so keen on just the 5G technology in general. So the legislation comes amid broad support in Washington for finding ways to curb China's influence and Huawei in particular. Last month, the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, barred Huawei and other telecommunication firms, including ZTE Corp, from selling electronics in the US on grounds they pose risk to data security. And they do. Full stop, they do, because of all those things I mentioned earlier. Additionally, US lawmakers are seeking to ban Chinese company-owned video app TikTok outright, which the FBI has warned could control millions of users of software, steal information, launch hacking attacks, or conduct influence operations. This one's a little bit on the weirder side, the TikTok stuff. I do not have TikTok on my phone. I do not have TikTok on my phone because it does have access to all of your geolocation data and everything else. It's like a lot of the stuff that Facebook used to do. Well, TikTok is doing that stuff. And you can't get around it. There's no way to be sure that you're getting around that like you could with turning it off with Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or all of those other companies. But with the launching hacking attacks or conduct influence operations, that's true of pretty much every single social media company. Influence operations are just a fact of life. I don't like them. Don't get me wrong. I think that they're bad and we need to do more in order to stop those things. We need to do more to make sure that people are actually people when they're online, not necessarily who they specifically are. So like, hey, I'm Cypher. My name is also Anthony, right? Like you don't need to know that I'm Anthony for me to be okay with this stuff, if you get what I'm saying. But you need to know that I'm a person when I engage online. I'm not just some bot or a guy controlling 500 accounts. I think there's stuff there we need to do. And the access to that information that TikTok does, lots of other social media companies are doing that too. So if we're going to say, hey, we're going to ban outright TikTok because of these fears, maybe we should just make it to where those fears no longer are necessary by regulation. Similar to what the EU did with the GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation, which allows people to be in control of their data, delete data through request, simple request, in order to have all their personal data removed from a platform. I think that's the road that we should go down if we're going to do these things like banning TikTok. So I'm not there with banning TikTok. Now, I will say this though. If TikTok does get banned, all those users are just going to migrate to another platform. And there's ways that the US could do this to where all the data and information about TikTok stuff are hosted in a US subsidiary of the company with very strident, strict rules about how that data is accessed and shared outside of the United States. I think that might be a route that this could go down. But if they're just going to be like, hey, we're just going to ban it, this is a whole other segment here. So talking about banning TikTok, it's called the No TikTok on Government Devices Act. It was introduced by Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican of Missouri, has just crossed a major milestone. Members of the U.S. Senate have unanimously voted to approve the bill, which will ban the TikTok app on all government-owned phones and other devices. This, my friends, is a perfectly reasonable request. Why is that? because of all the stuff we just mentioned above. Its approval emphasizes authorities' concerns that the app's China-based parent company, ByteDance, could share information gathered from US users with the Chinese government. Just last month, FBI Director Chris Wray warned lawmakers that the Chinese government could use TikTok to launch influence operations. Everybody can use social media to influence everything. Again, everybody's doing this. There's ways to stop it. Banning the platform ain't it. Or to technically compromise millions of devices. That's true. While the bill aims to prohibit the installation of TikTok on government devices, it carves out exceptions for law enforcement activities, national security interests, and activities and security researchers, according to Bloomberg. Which makes sense. You gotta have access to the device to investigate things that are happening. So Holly called the app a Trojan horse for the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, we get it. You don't like communists. You don't like the lefties. We understand, Holly. Fine, I don't like communists either. But we know that's just a dog whistle for hating lefties in general. And he said it had no place on government devices until it completely cuts ties with China. That's fair. Meanwhile, TikTok spokesman Brooke O'Bedwetter told Bloomberg that Holly's, quote, has moved forward with a proposal which does nothing to advance U.S. national security interest. Oberwetter added, quote, we hope that rather than continuing down that road, he will urge the administration to move forward on an agreement that would actually address his concerns. Just a few days ago, Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida, and Wisconsin Republican Representative Mike Gallagher filed a separate bill that aims to ban TikTok in the US completely. Unlike Holly's bill, there also targets all social media companies in or influenced by China, Russia, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, and Venezuela. The new axis of evil. You're either with us or against us. Does that mean that it would ban Telegram too? Ooh. Okay, I might be able to get on board on this one. That's a little joke. I'm not here for banning platforms. The reason I said I could get on board for that one is because if it includes Telegram, it means all the right-wingers have to find a new platform. Rubio criticized the administration for having not yet to take a single meaningful action to protect American users from the threat of TikTok. Sure, buddy. Individual states, including Maryland and South Dakota, have already prohibited the installation of TikTok on government devices. Again, fair. Government, do you. Just don't tell me I can't use my stuff. I don't have TikTok installed on my phone. I have these concerns too, and that's why I don't have it on my phone. But I'm not one to say other people can't have it on their phone just because we're doing a little bit of xenophobia. I'm not down with this. Now, as for Holly's bill, the U.S. would still have to approve it before it can become a law. The bill will expire on December 31st as the 117th Congress ends, which means it has to be recent.